So I am starting the unit number 2 today. Is my screen visible to you all? Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, I request all of you not to answer through chat box. You switch on your mic and please answer me. Is it okay?
Yes.
Very good. Very good. So from the honors course data science, we are going to study the second unit, statistics and machine learning. Uh, Subject is this statistics and machine learning, and the unit is uh, statistical inference. This is the unit, statistical inference, and the statistical part of this data science we are going to study in this particular unit. These are the contents of the unit number 2, measures of relationship. Under that we are going to study the covariance, then Carl Pearson coefficient of correlation, then measures of position, Bayes theorem, Bayesian network, discriminative learning, probabilistic models, linear models, and the subsequent part of linear models. Here, the very first point is covariance. Now, you know variables. So, what is the property of the variable? Often in our programming languages, we use the variables. So, what is the that property of the variable? What do you mean by a variable? Please be fast because we have to cover a lot of points under this in it. So, better if you answer me quickly. Neeraj, what is your understanding about the variable?
Something which has a changing value basically.
Yes, the object whose values are continuously changing. Getting. So throughout the program or throughout the module, the object's value are changing. Such an object is called as a variable. Am I right? So here variables may change in a relation to each other. Means the values of the variables, those are changing. Uh, that is the property of the variable. Now, what is covariance? So covariance measures how much the moment in one variable predicts the moment in corresponding variable. Getting. Suppose there are two variables and there is a correlation between the variable. So is it possible to have the correlation between the variables? Is it possible to have the correlation amongst the variable? The first, please. Let it be the interactive session. Is it possible to have the correlation between the values of the variable? Yes, Shivarkar.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is that very much possible. to have the correlation is very much possible. So suppose the what we can say, a boy, his age and the height. Age and height, these are the two variables. Age is also continuously changing. The height of the person is also changing. Getting? So there is a correlation between these two variables. Are you getting? Now, what is the that job of, or what is the use of this covariance? So this covariance measures how much the moment in one variable predict the moment in corresponding variable. Getting? So covariance is nothing but a correspondence between the values of the variable. Corresponding between correspondence amongst, or between the values of the variable, that is called as a covariance. Covariance is a statistical tool. Another definition I am taking. I have collected that many definitions. So here the one more definition is, covariance is a statistical tool that used to determine the relationship between the movement of two asset prices. Getting? So asset prices. Suppose you are taking any asset, and you are that measuring the prices. Getting? So there is again covariance between the prices of the asset. Getting? Means prices are always that what we can say, changing. So there is again a covariance between the values of those prices of the asset. Then covariance evaluate how the mean values, mean is nothing but average. Getting? So covariance evaluates how the mean values of two variables moves together, how the average values of the two variables moves together. So that is called as a covariance. Again, covariance is a measure of covariance is a measure of how much two random variables vary together. So this is the again best definition of the covariance. So in the covariance, what we see, it is a measure of how much two random variables vary together. Getting? We are going to study a few interesting examples of the covariance and the problems as well. Now, now the here we are going to study the formula of the covariance, how to calculate the covariance. Getting? Consider the two random variables x and y. Here we define the covariance between x and y. We write that COV of x comma y, and we read it as covariance of x comma y. Covariance of x and y, we read it like this. The covariance gives some information about how x and y are statistically related. So what the covariance gives? Information about the two variables, how those two variables are statistically related. Getting? So covariance between x and y is defined as, you can write this formula, all of you. Please note down this formula. Covariance of x comma y is equal to capital E of x minus ex, and in the next bracket y minus ey, and close the square bracket. So E of x is expected value of x. E of x is expected value of x, and only x means the actual value of x. So it is a difference between expected value and actual value of x, as well as the expected value of y and the actual value of the y. Are you getting? So that what a covariance is. So all of you please note down this formula, and you please let me know once you finish. You noted it? Have noted it?
Yes.
Huh. Please don't give me the answer through chat box. I request you to give the answer through your mic. Now, covariance. Now we are going to study the interesting examples of the covariance. Now, covariance here it is a that correlation between the two variables, that is the definition. It is a correlation between the values of two variables. Getting how that one variable change with respect to another variable, that is the covariance. Now investigate example. You can note this example too. Investigate the relationship between the cigarette smoking and lung capacity. Cigarette smoking and lung capacity. I that hope nobody is that smoking cigarette from you. So here the data is given. A sample group response data on the smoking habits and the measured lung capacity respectively. So smoking versus lung capacity data. So if there is a no any that smoking of the cigarette smoking is for the 0 years, then the lung capacity is a 45 unit. So even I don't know exactly what is the unit to measure the lung capacity, but 45 is the number. Then 5. If you are smoking the cigarette from last 5 years, then the lung capacity will be is 45 given as per the data. Then if you are smoking the cigarette from last 10 years, then the capacity is 33, 15 years, 31, 20 years, 29. So this is the covariance between the variable X and variable Y. Variable X and variable Y. Are you getting? Now, you please note down this data. Take the table in short. Quickly, you are supposed to do the noting of all important points which I am telling. Taken? Be fast, quick. Quickly you do the noting. Shivarkar, taken?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, here the graph is plotted. Smoking versus the lung capacity of the smoking versus lung capacity data. Here, the smoking years. Suppose the smoking years are 0, means there is a no smoking by the individual. Then the lung capacity is 45 units. Then if from the 5 years the person is that smoking, then it is 43. Then it is 33 for 10 years. For 15 years, it is as per the data 31. And for the 20 years, as per the data, it is 29. Okay. Now, the graph is in decreasing, what we can say, order. It is in decreasing order. So observe that as smoking exposure goes up, the corresponding lung capacity goes down. So variables covary inversely. Two variables are that covarying inversely, and the covariance quantity of it is a quantity, it quantify the relationship amongst the two variables or between the two variables. Now, there is a general, what we can say, there are general guidelines regarding the covariance. Now here, your that graph is going down. That is called as a negative covariance. If it is that line is going down, the graph is that inverse graph, it is going downward direction, then it is called as a negative covariance. If it is going up, then it is called as a positive covariance. And if there is no such a indication, means if there is a horizontal line, if there is a horizontal line between the correlation of two variables, then it is called as a zero covariance. Then it is called as a zero covariance. Getting? So you please note this data also very quickly so I can proceed. Be fast. Negative covariance means the line or the graph is in decreasing order, or it is in decreasing fashion. The positive covariance means it is in that increasing fashion. The line goes in upward direction. And zero covariance means the line is horizontal. The line is horizontal. Then it is called as a zero covariance. Taken. Shivarkar, over.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Now, let's see one example how to calculate the covariance. Now, these examples myself have that prepared. You will not see such that examples in your book which you are referring. Getting? So, you please note do the noting of such important points very carefully. So, in future for the examination, you don't learn this subject for the examination. Getting? You learn the subject for your long life understanding. Getting? These subjects are very important, and these subjects are very useful in your that future. So write down, calculate the covariance for the following data set. Calculate the covariance for the data set. Here the x is the variable in which the first value is 2.1, 2.5, 3.6 and 4.1. These are the values of x. And if you take the mean is nothing but average of the values. So that becomes 3.1. You can check this average. If there is any mistake, please let me know. Then y, variable y. So the values are 8, 10, 12 and 14. You note it whether there will be a, you please tell me whether there will be a positive covariance or negative covariance in this data. Will there be a positive covariance or negative covariance?
Positive.
Positive covariance. Very good. Why positive? Because the values of x and y both are in increasing fashion. That's why there will be a positive covariance. So this is very simple to judge actually. Get it? So substitute the values into the formula. So what are that formula for the covariance? Here it is given. The covariance is nothing but a actual value of x minus the expected value. Expected value is nothing but a mean value of the x. Get it? So here summation of all that actual value of the x minus the mean value. Actual value of the y into the mean value of the, here mu. This is the symbol mu. Mu is nothing but a mean value of the x. It is denoted by mu. And this is another symbol that is called as a nu. How to pronounce it? Mu. 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 And nu. Nu. This is the another symbol. So these are the both that values. Mean values of x and mean value of y respectively. Divide by n minus 1. Number of terms of the relation. Number of terms of the relation. Minus 1. Sorry. Now, put values, get answer. It is very simple. 2 minus 1. This is the first value. And mean value of x is 3 minus 1. So, x minus means x1 minus mu into y1 minus nu. Getting? Mean value of y is 11. That is nu. Mu and nu. Mean value of x and mean value of y. Take the product of this plus the second value of x minus the mean value of x, second value of y minus the mean value of y, and so on. Divide by n minus 1. Divide by n minus 1. Getting? So find out the final value of the covariance. And as per my calculations, the final value of covariance is 2.267. 2.267. You please tell me your answer. You please tell me your answer. You please tell me your answer. Shivarkar, what is your
Sir,
final answer?
2.666.
Sorry?
2.666.
Very good. Very correct. So 2.267, right?
Yes, sir.
2.267 is the final answer. Now, what is the meaning of this 2.267? So if the result is positive, the meaning is that the variables are positively related or correlated. So there is a positive covariance. If the result is positive, it means that there is a positive covariance. Are you getting my point? If the results are positive, it means that there is a positive covariance. Are you getting my point? Shall I
Yes,
proceed?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Now, here it is mentioned, it is given clearly. If the covariance, value of the covariance is greater than 0, then there is a positive covariance, upward direction. The line or the graph moves in upward direction. So there is a positive covariance. If there is a negative covariance, when there is a negative covariance, if the value of the covariance is less than 0, covariance less than 0, and if the covariance value is equal to 0, then there is a zero covariance. There is a zero covariance. Then in that case, the line is a horizontal line and the covariance value is 0. Getting? So you note these graphs also: positive covariance, negative covariance, and zero covariance. Taken?
Done, sir.
Very good. Now, first point is over. Second point, Carl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. So this is a correlation coefficient we are going to study. This is a correlation coefficient we are going to study. This Carl Pearson coefficient is also known as a product moment correlation, or it is also known as a simple correlation coefficient. So there are multiple names to this Carl, Carl Pearson coefficient, product movement correlation, or it is also known as simple correlation coefficient. Get it? So it gives a precise numerical value of the degree of linear relationship between the two variables x and y. Are you getting? Now, there is a word linear relationship between the variables x and y. So what is the meaning of linear relationship between two variables? Linear relationship between two variables. What does it mean? Suppose I write like this. X is equal to, x plus y is equal to, suppose 23. What is the meaning of this equation? What is meaning of this equation? X is equal to, be fast please. Let it be wrong. No issues. Please answer me. X plus y is equal to 23. What is the meaning of this equation? What is meaning of this equation? Yes, Shivarkar.
Yes, sir. Sum of
What?
two variables is 23.
You are not properly audible.
Sum of two variables is 23.
Bhakti Bomaz, are you there? I think Swasti Bali. Are you there? Yes. Swasti Bali
Yes,
is there, no?
yes, sir.
Yes, you please tell me, Swasti ji, what is meaning of x plus y is equal to something?
Uh, Addition of two variables.
Okay, no issues. Anyone has that proper answer? I am interested in the relation between the x and y. I am that interested to know the correspondence between the values of x and y.
Sir, is it line of intercept?
No, I think you all from very that good convent background and very good what we can say schools. So I am expecting very that good answers from you people. So, let it be. I tell you the meaning. X plus y is equal to something. Suppose I write here 23. Getting? It means that if you plot a graph of the values of x and y, it will be a straight line. It will be a straight line. Getting? It will be a straight line. Getting? So there is a linear relationship between the values of x and y. So meaning of the linear relationship means if we plot a graph of the values of the variable x and y or any two variables, it is always a straight line. So that is the meaning of linear relationship. Now, here, linear relationship may be given by this equation. So y is equal to a plus bx. A plus bx. So this also that gives a linear relationship. This is always, this is also straight line. The graph of this equation is also straight line. Get it? So you can plot the graph of this x plus y is equal to 23. Suppose x is 18 and y is 5. X is 18 and y is 5. Suppose x is 20. Getting? Then y becomes 3. Y becomes 3 here somewhere. Y becomes 3 means here. So this is the straight line. Are you getting? So the graph of x plus y type of equations is always a straight line. That's why it is called as a linear relationship. And it can be shown by using this equation. Y is equal to a plus bx. Y is equal to a plus bx. So this type of relation may be described by a straight line. The intercept that the line makes on y-axis. This line makes the intercept on the y-axis given by the value a. What is value a? A is nothing but the value of the intercept on the y-axis. You note all these important points. So a is nothing but a intercept value of the y-axis made by that straight line, and the slope of the line is given by b. So b is what? B is the slope of that particular line. It is the value of the slope of that particular line. So it gives the change in the value of y for very small change in the value of x. And this is obvious. If there is any small change in the value of x, there is a change in the value of the y. There is a change in the value of the y. Are you getting? So what is y and x? These are the variables. Getting? What is variable a? This is the intercept that the straight line makes on the y-axis. The value of that intercept is nothing but a. And what is the b? B is nothing but a slope value of that particular line, straight line. Slope value of the straight line. Get it? Have you taken up to this? Any doubt? If you are having any doubt, difficulty, you please let me know. Shivarkar, any doubt, difficulty?
No, sir.
Very good. Very good. Shall I proceed now?
Yes, sir.
Now, Carl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, the next part. Here, now consider, let x1, x2 up to xn be the n values of x, and y1, y2 up to yn be the corresponding values of y. Getting? So for x, there are that n values, and for y also, there are n values. These are the two variables. So variables can change, variables are changing. They can take any value. That's why we are taking n values for x and we are taking the n values of the y in order to find, or in order to that observe the correlation. In order to observe the correlation. Now, the arithmetic mean is nothing but average. So how to find out the average of any that values? Suppose there are 10 values given to you. What will be average of those values? How to calculate the average? Yes, please. How to calculate the average? Very simple question. Average is nothing but a mean, arithmetic mean. In that mathematical terms, it is called as arithmetic mean. And in our general that life, we say it as average. Yes. Swastiji, what is average? Take the summation of all the values, right? Divide by the total number of terms. The total number of terms. Like this, we calculate the average. And that average or mean is denoted by x bar. Here, the arithmetic mean or the average is denoted by x bar, and this y bar is nothing but a average of the values of that particular variable y. Get it? Any doubt in this? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Please give me reply. Please give me reply. I'll come to know whether you are listening or not. Are you getting my points or not? Getting. So that's why you please give the reply. Now, the variance. Variance is that given by this formula, the sigma square of x, variance of x is given by sigma square of x is equal to that summation of x minus x bar. You please tell me now what is x and what is this x bar. Be fast, quickly. What is x? The actual value. Getting actual value. And it is the average, means arithmetic mean. Actual value minus arithmetic mean. Actual value minus arithmetic mean every time. X1 minus mean. X2 minus mean. X3 minus the mean value. X4 minus the mean value. You take summation of all these, that x actual value and mean value, actual value and mean value. You take the addition of all these terms, divide by n. The square divided by n means the summation of x square divided by n, that is equivalent to this minus the mean value square, minus the mean value square. So this will give us the variance of variable x, variance of the variable x, and variance of the variable y. How to get the variance of variable y? So variance of the variable y is nothing but a actual value minus mean value every time. So here y1 minus mean value, y2 minus mean value, summation of all these values, its square divided by n. So you will get the variance. 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 Any doubt up to this? Akash Chopde,
No doubt, sir.
are you getting the points?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Have noted this formula? You note both the formulae. You note both the
Yes,
formulae.
sir. Yes, sir.
Raghav Desai.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting my points? What I am telling?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Shivam Deshpande.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting my points?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Vaishnavi Kumbhar. Swapnil Bahere. Are you getting my points?
Yes, sir.
So, you have taken the formula of this variance, variance of x and variance of the y. Because to calculate the Karl-Pearson coefficient, you should be able to calculate first the variance value, arithmetic mean and the variance. These are the basic values you are supposed to calculate in order to find the Karl-Pearson coefficient. Are you getting? Now, the next point is the standard deviation. Next point is the standard deviation. So, standard deviation of the values x and y respectively are the positive square roots of their variance. Now, here, this is the variance. This is the variance. Okay. Now, how to calculate the standard deviation? Standard deviation is nothing but a square root. You take a square root of this. Sigma square of x, whatever value you get, the square root of that is nothing but a standard deviation. It is a standard deviation. So standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y is nothing but a positive square roots of their variances. Getting? Write down the standard deviation term also. Square root of the variance value, positive value of the uh, square root of the variance. Suppose I take the square root of 4. What is the answer? Desai. I take the square
2,
root
sir.
of 4.
2, sir.
Positive or negative?
Positive, sir.
What is square of negative 2? Minus 2.
Positive 4, sir.
Positive 4. And what is the square of 2?
Positive 4, sir.
Positive 4. Then what is square root of 4?
Positive or negative 2, sir.
Correct. Now you are correct. Now you are correct. So square root
Thank you.
always possesses two values, positive as well as negative value. Getting? So positive value of that particular square root is nothing but a standard deviation. It is a standard deviation of the variance. Now, here the covariance of x and y is defined as covariance. Now, we have studied up to variance and standard deviation. Now, here we are going to study the covariance. Covariance of x and y is defined by this formula. By this formula. Covariance of x comma y is equal to summation of what is this x? You please tell me. If you can tell me what is x and what is that x bar, you will that understand everything which I am going to tell.
Sir, normal x is actual value of that x.
Very
And
good.
x bar is the mean value.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Correct. Absolutely. So normal x is nothing but that actual value of the x, and x bar is nothing but a mean value of x. Suppose there are 10 values of x, because x is a variable, it can possess multiple values. Getting multiple, that values can be there. So if you take the mean of that is nothing but x bar, and x is nothing but that every actual value of the x. So every time take x minus x bar, and y is nothing but actual value of x, and y bar is nothing but a mean value of x. Are you getting? And divide by n. So this is called as summation of small x and small y. Now here the terms are different. Don't get confused. Here there is a small x and small y. There is a small x and small y. So what is small x? X minus x bar. And what is small y? Y minus y bar. These are the values of small x and small y. Getting? Are the deviations of the ith value of x and y from their mean values respectively. So these are nothing but the deviations. Mean value is suppose 30 and you are having x value 28. So there is a deviation of 2 in that actual value of x. Getting? So deviation is nothing but the difference of the mean from the actual value of the x. Getting? Now here, the sign of covariance, between x and y determines the sign of correlation coefficient. Getting? So whatever sign of covariance between x and y determines the sign of the correlation coefficient. Means there is if the covariance value is positive, then correlation coefficient will also be positive. And if the sign of covariance is negative, then the correlation coefficient will be also negative. The standard deviations are always positive. Getting? Here, already it is mentioned, covariance can be negative. Getting? You remember this, mind it well. Covariance can be negative, but standard deviations are always positive, because standard deviation is nothing but it is a square root of the variance value. It is a square root, positive square root of that variance value. That's why standard deviations are always positive. Now, if the covariance is 0, the correlation coefficient is always 0. Means covariance and the correlation coefficient both are what we can say very that related, or both are very analogous. Both are very analogous. Get it? So if the covariance is positive, correlation coefficient is also positive, and if the covariance is 0, the correlation coefficient is also 0. Get it? Now, the product moment correlation. Now, the actual that Karl's Pearson coefficient we are going to study. This is the background. What is required in order to that learn the Karl Pearson measure of correlation. Get it? So, product moment correlation, or it is also called as Karl Pearson's measure of correlation. Means Karl Pearson that coefficient of correlation we are now going to study. Get it? Is given by this formula. Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation. It is the Karl Pearson measure of correlation, or it is a coefficient of correlation. It is given by this formula. Now R is equal to summation of small x into small y. Here, look at this. What is small x and what is small y? Small x is nothing but x minus x bar. Capital X minus capital X bar. And small y is capital Y minus capital Y bar. You keep in mind this particular thing. Get it? So, it is given by this formula. It is summation of small x into small y divided by n sigma x into that n into sigma x into sigma y. Sigma is nothing but it is a value of the that variance. Value of the variance. Get it? It is value of the variance. So you note it down. Either you remember this first one, second one, third one, or fourth one. Any one you can remember. Any one you can remember. The meaning of all these formulae is same. Meaning of this, all these formula is same. Get it? So you can remember any one formula. Get it? So here R summation of small x into small y divided by n into sigma x sigma y, or R that summation of capital X minus capital X bar into capital Y into capital Y bar. The meaning is same. Mean small x is this and capital is this. Sorry, small y is this. So the meaning is same. Here, this sigma x is meaning is this. The meaning is this. Getting? So actually, meaning of all these formula is same, but it is written in different terms. So you note down these that formula of the Karl's Pearson coefficient, and you please tell me after completion. You please tell me after completion. Or finished? Finished? Akash Chopde.
Yes, sir.
You can take any one formula if you are that facing any difficulties or complications. The meaning is very that simple. You can take formula 1 and 2 also. You can take one only, or you can take that all that formulae. The meaning or the outcome is same. Only it is up to your understanding which formula to write or to prefer. If you take formula number 1 and 2, then also it is okay, no issues. Shivarkar,
Yes, sir.
please tell me after completion.
Done, sir.
Very good. Desai, Raghav Desai.
Yes, sir. Done.
Taken, completed.
Yes, sir.
Prathamesh. Then Rutuja Kulkarni. Sahil Dhapare.
Yes, sir.
Shantunu Naughane.
Done, sir.
Shardul Bhatlavande. Preeti Badwe. Badwe, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Badwe. You speak loudly, Badwe. Be louder. I am not able to get your sound. Huh. Shall I proceed? I have taken this formula.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Desai, shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now the properties of the correlation coefficient. Getting. So R is the correlation coefficient. It is denoted by R. Right? It is denoted by R. It is denoted by R. Carl Pearson coefficient, correlation coefficient. Getting. It is denoted by R. So we have to find out the value of R. We have to find out the value of that correlation, Carl Pearson correlation coefficient. Value of R we have to find out. Now, the properties of the correlation coefficient, R has no unit. It is a pure number. Means there is no any meter what we can say unit. It is not a meter, centimeter, kilogram, gram. There is no such a unit to the value of the R. It is a pure number. Then second, a negative value of R indicate there is an inverse relation. Inverse relation means the graph is downward. The graph is downward. There is an inverse relation. Now, if R is a positive, the two variables move in the same direction. Two variables move in the same direction. Get it? So then R is a positive means there is a positive correlation. Get it? Now, there is a one more important point, like your probability. Can anyone tell me what is the range of the value of the probability? What is the range of the value of the probability?
0 to 1, sir.
Very good. Very correct. 0 to 1. 0 to 1. If the probability value is 1, it means that there is a 100% possibility that a certain event occurs. And if the value of the probability is 0.5, then there is a 50% possibility that the particular event happens. Getting? So like this, there is again the range for the correlation coefficient value. So this correlation coefficient value always lies in between -1 to +1. In between -1 to +1. And if in any of the exercise, the value of R is outside this range, it means that there is an error in calculation. So value of R always lies in between -1 to +1. Value of R always lies in between -1 to +1. Getting? Now if R is equal to 0, the value of correlation coefficient R, Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient, R is equal to 0 means two variables are uncorrelated. Those are not correlated and there is a no linear relation between them. If value of R is equal to 0 means that the variables are not correlated and there is a no linear correlation between them. So the equation or the given expression does not forms a straight line. The graph is not a straight line. Get it? So these are the properties of correlation coefficient. Get it? Next, here, if R is equal to 1 or R is equal to -1, the correlation is perfect. Remember, if value of R is equal to 1 or R is equal to -1, the correlation is perfect. Means there is a what we can say perfect correlation. The values are moving in what we can say in the what here it is mentioned. The values are moving in the same direction and the values are what we can say analogous. Get it? If there is a value that rise in the value of X, there will be rise in the value of Y also. Means the correlation is perfect. Or there is a decrement in the value of X, there will be a decrement in the value of Y also. So this is called as a perfect correlation. The high value of R indicates strong linear relationship. If the value of R is high, it means it is near to 1. Near to 1. It means that there is strong linear relationship and its value is said to be high when it is close to +1 or -1. If it is close to +1 or -1, it is called as the high value and there is a strong linear relationship between the variable X and variable Y. A low value of R indicate weak linear relation, and its value is said to be low when it is close to 0. So if the value is close to 0, then it is called as the correlation is what we can say weak, or it is a weak linear correlation. Getting? Any doubt up to this? Any doubt up to this? Please be fast. Answer my questions. Any doubt up to this?
Sir,
Yes, Raghav.
in weak linear relationship,
Huh.
it says near to 0,
Correct.
but the range of R is from -1 to 1, na?
Oh,
So it will be close to -1.
no. 0 lies in between -1 and +1. No.
Yes.
If the value is either towards 1 or towards -1. If the value of the R lies or it is towards +1 or towards -1, then there is a high correlation. There is a strong linear correlation. Are you getting? If the value of R is near to +1 or near to -1, then there is a
Okay.
strong linear correlation. But if it is near to 0, if the values comes into the center near to 0, then there is a weak linear correlation.
Okay, okay, sir. Get it, sir. Thank
Understood?
you. Yes, sir.
Understood. Huh. So any doubt up to this? Priyanka Godbole,
No,
are you
sir.
there?
Yes, sir. No doubt.
Any doubt?
No, sir.
Very good. Very good. Preeti Badwe. Any doubt, Badwe?
No, sir. No doubt.
Now you are properly audible. Now you are audible. Very good. So now Desai, you tell me how to calculate value of R, which that values are required in order to calculate the value of R.
We have to find out the small x, small y,
Huh?
and standard
Sigma X.
deviations.
Sigma X. It is not a standard deviation, it is a variance.
Variance, yes.
हे बघा, sigma is nothing but a variance. Sigma is nothing but a variance. So the square root of the sigma you have to find out. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Square root of the sigma we have to find out. That is nothing but a variance. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Now. So the calculations are very simple. Let's see these calculations by using one example. So if you are able to solve this R, then that I will say that you have understood everything what I told today. Get it? So one example, let's see. Here it is, everything is given in this paper. I will share these notes with you. These are my own notes. I have prepared it for you people. I'll share you this material with you. Here, this is the example. This is suppose variable X and this is the variable Y. Okay. So write down example 1. Number of years of schooling of the farmers. Means if the farmer is that literate or the well educated, then the annual yield means annual income per acre. Here it is given the correlation between that. Correlation. So if the schooling years are 0, then the yield per year is 4. If the schooling years are 2, the yield is again 4. If the schooling years are 4, then yield is 6. Then 6, 10, 8, 10, 10, 8 and 12, 7. Means if the schooling is that too much, that number is that very large, in that case also the yield is less. And if the schooling is very less, in that case also the yield is very less. But if the schooling years are that average, then in that case the yield of the farmer is more. So you consider the first column as a value of X, X1, X2, X3, X that and so on. And the second column is the value of the Y. Now you please tell me what is the average of these values? Mean value of X and mean value of the Y. What is mean value of X and mean value of Y? In order to calculate R, what we are supposed to calculate? Be fast, please. Shivarkar. To calculate the value of R, means Karl-Pearson correlation coefficient. We want to calculate. For that, what are the terms required? Desai. Am I audible or not? Desai.
Yes, sir.
Then why are you not giving answer? Akash Chopde. Am I audible? Akash
Yes, sir.
Chopde.
Yes,
Am
sir.
I audible? Badwe. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Please give me answer. Shivam Deshpande.
Yes, sir.
Bhakti Bomaz. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you please tell me now, in order to calculate R, which terms we are supposed to calculate? Here, summation of xy, small x, small y. And what is small x? Capital X minus capital X bar. And what is small y? Capital Y minus capital Y bar. Getting? Then sigma x and sigma y, this we are supposed to calculate. This formula 1. Here, formula 1. Now find out the mean value of this. Desai, what is the mean
6,
value
sir.
of x?
6, sir.
6 is correct answer. And Bhakti Momaz, what is the mean value of y? Now look at this. This is the table. This table gives all the answers. So here the x value, this is the y value, x minus x bar. X bar is nothing but a mean value. So mean value is 6. So x minus x bar. This is the value x and mean value. Calculate the average of these 7 values. What is the average of that 7 values? What is the average of these 7 values? That is nothing but a x bar. Bola. What is the average of these 7 values? Badwe.
42. 42 is
30.
the sum and mean is 6.
Mean is 6. Very good. So 0 minus 6. What is the answer? First value of x is 0. And 0 minus 6. What is the answer?
Minus 6.
Minus 6. Then 2. 2 minus 6. What is the answer?
Minus 4.
Minus 4. Correct. So write down this table of x minus x bar. Then take the square of this. X minus x bar square. Then similarly you write down all the values of y. Then here summation of y is 49 and mean of the y is now 7. Mean of the y is 7. Y bar is equal to 7. Then 4 minus 7 minus 3. 4 minus 7 minus 3. 6 minus 1 minus 1 and so on. So you take down these values. You take the square of the values. Now you take the product of this x minus x bar and y minus y bar. So this product is nothing but a small x into small y. Small x into small y. So this product is a small x into small y. You take down this table. Have you taken the table? You please tell me after completion. Shivarkar. Keskar, are you there? Keskar? Keskar, Omkar Keskar. Ketki Keskar, Kerkar. No, Jayashree Keskar. Jayashree Keskar, are you there? Okay, no issues. Raghav,
Yes, sir.
have you taken this table?
Yes, sir. Just
Taken.
now.
Very good. Very good. Preeti Badwe, have you taken this table?
Yes, sir.
Taken everything from the table?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Very. Huh. Shivarkar, have you taken this whole table? Riddhi Shivarkar. Now you come to this formula 1. You come to this formula. Okay. So how to find out sigma x? You first note down this formula. Write down this formula. Write down this formula number 1. R is equal to summation of small x into small y divided by n sigma x into sigma y. N sigma x into sigma. Taken? And noted this formula? Desai noted?
Yes, sir. Noted.
Now you come here. Sigma x. How to calculate sigma x? Sigma x is nothing but that summation of x minus x bar square divided by n. So you take, now you are having this table of x minus x bar. Getting. So take the summation of all these x minus x bar. Summation is equal to 112. 112. Getting. 112. Now, here x minus x bar, the summation of this and square, it is 112, and n, total values are 7. Here you can see there are 7 values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So n means number of terms are 7. Similarly, you can find out the sigma y. Sigma y. So summation of y minus y, that y bar bracket square divided by n is equal to square root of 38 divided by 7. And the value of small x into summation of small x into small y means this is small x. X minus x bar is small x. Y minus y bar is small y. The summation of the product of this particular x minus x bar and y minus y bar is the 42. Is 42. The product is 18, then 12, and the summation is 42. So here 42 is there, then sigma x is there, sigma y is there. Only you have to put values and get answer. Only you have to put values and get answer. If you apply the second formula also, the same value can be obtained. If you apply the formula 2, then also the same value can be obtained.
Sir, 0.6438.
Correct, correct. Very correct, very correct. So it is around 0.644, right? Or 0.64 also, okay, no problem. So is it near to 0 or near to 1?
Near to 1.
Near to 1. It means what? If it is near to 1, what does it mean?
Linear relationship.
There is a strong linear correlation.
Yes.
There is a strong linear correlation. Badwe, finished?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. Shivarkar, finished?
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good, very good. Huh. Now, do you want that one more example? Will you solve at home? Do you want to get, or do you want any more example of this, or is it sufficient? Be fast, please. Desai, please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got your answer. I think it is sufficient. Positive correlation. Positive correlation means what? If that correlation between the value of x and y, the graph is in that graph is going to upward direction, then there is a positive correlation. Negative means downward. No correlation means there is no any such that upward and downward. There can be a horizontal line in the no correlation. Then perfect positive correlation. It is continuously that going in upward direction. It is called as a perfect positive correlation. And if it is going in the straight line and downward direction, then it is called as a perfect negative correlation. It is called as negative correlation. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Then the next point, the second point of this unit, I take today this point, and after that we can stop. The measures of position. Measures of the position. Percentile. The first point is a percentile. Now, in that CET examination, or in the that JEE, or in the that such examinations which are that entrance examination, competitive examinations, in those examinations the score is calculated on the basis of percentile, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
What is your understanding about percentile? What do you mean by percentile? Huh. So no issues. Let's discuss what is mean by percentile. So percentile are the common measures of position. Those are the common measures of position. To get a percentile, the data is divided into 100 regions. Suppose there are 1000 that students appeared for the examination. Those that 1000 students are divided into 100 regions. Get it? So we in one region, how many students will appear? In one region, how many students will come? Be fast. In one region, 10 students will come. Getting? So as a specific data point will fall in one of those regions when you assign a percentile to indicate how much data is below that specific data point. So from that we come to know how much data is there below to that particular data point. So that is the use of percentile. The kth percentile is what? It is the value that is greater than the k% of the data values after ranking all the data values, and kth percentile is denoted by P of k. Get it? So kth percentile value, once again I tell you, is greater than k% of the data values. Suppose 80 percentile. 80th percentile. So what is the meaning of 80th percentile? 80th percentile is the number which has 80% that students below it and 20% students above it. So this is the concept of percentile. Suppose your percentile are that suppose 75. 75 percentile means what? 25% students are above your level. Getting? And the 75% students are below of your rank. So that is the concept of the percentile. So rather than counting that percentage from the bottom, count 20% from the top. So in order to that count 80 percentile. 80 percentile means what? You are in the top 20. You are in the top 20. There are 80% students below than your rank or below your rank. So the 50th percentile is the median. Median means it is the center point. Here 50% students are above your rank and that 50% students are below your rank. So that is the 50th percentile. Have you get it? Now the percentile, there are that few that calculations formula is there for percentile. So let's see in details. So percentile is a good way to express the measure of position for the large data set. So if there are suppose that 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh students are appearing for the examination, that time to maintain the rank is difficult. In that case, the percentile is the solution. So many national assessment that tests or many national assessments such as the height and the CET scores use the percentiles as a way to convey the specific score false because they are easily interpreted. The percentile which we can easily interpret and we can easily maintain the data in the form of percentile. Finding the percentile that corresponds to the data value. How to find out the percentile? Now, the first step is arrange the data in ascending order. Arrange the data in the ascending order. That is the first step. Second, use the following formula to find the percentile for the value x. Get it? So, percentile of k. Percentile of k. Here, instead of x, you read k. So, percentile of k is equal to number of data values less than k divided by n. N means the total number of students or total number of what we can say people involved in that particular examination. Get it? So number of student values less than k divided by n into 100. So this is the formula in order to calculate the percentile. You can write it. How to calculate the percentile? Percentile for the value k. The percentile for the value k. So number of data values less than k divided by n into 100. Into 100. Number of values less than k divided by n into 100. So it gives you the percentile. then what can be the maximum value of the percentile? What can be the maximum value of the percentile? Bhakti. Am I audible? Taken? Taken?
Yes,
SI?
sir.
Very good, very good, very good. You please give me the reply. Now, here only 2 points are remaining. After that, I'll stop the today's session. The second is the score. Z score. So the Z score represents the number of standard deviations a data value is from the mean. Getting? So it is that standard deviation from the mean of the number of data values of the, suppose there are 10 data values. Getting? Then we are finding the standard deviations of a data value from the mean, that is called as a Z square. Getting? So here you are knowing what is X. X is that X bar is nothing but a mean value. Then X is nothing but the actual value. Suppose there are 10 values, you take the mean of that. Then for each value, you find out the Z score. Z score. So S is nothing but a here. Are you getting points or not? The standard score is obtained by subtracting the mean value and dividing the difference by the standard deviation. Are you getting? So here the mean value, you have to find out the difference, the mean value, actual value, and the standard deviation. So whatever standard deviation, we are dividing that X minus X bar divided by the standard deviation. Suppose there are 10 values. There are 10 values. And the mean value is suppose 30. Actual value is 24. What will be the standard deviation? What will be the standard deviation? What will be the standard deviation? Bhakti Momaz. The standard deviation will be of the 6.
6. Yes, sir.
Getting? Standard deviation of the 6. So how will be this now? 24 minus 30. Mean value is 30. Divided by the standard deviation. Standard deviation is 6. So it will be minus 1. Every time this value will be different. Are you getting? So the symbol Z, which is why it is also called as the Z score, and Z score allows you to compare the samples that have the different means and the standard deviations. So to see how the score compare relative to their sample. So you can have the different that mean values, you can have the different samples, and you can find out the Z score of the different samples. For this, the Z score is minus 1. If you take the values from this set, the z-score will be -1. If you take any another sample, the z-score of that particular sample will be different. Getting? Z-score of another sample will be different. So for every sample, there will be one z-score, and the z-score we calculate by using this formula, the actual value, then mean value divided by the standard deviation. It gives you the z-score value. It gives you. So sample wise, the z-score value will be different. I have taken this formula. Please answer my questions.
Yes, sir.
Taken this? Good. And the last point for today is quartiles. Quartiles. So quartiles are nothing but 4 regions. To divide your x-axis in 4 regions, that is called as a quartile. Getting? Here the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and the fourth quarter. That's all. This is the logical meaning of the quartile. To divide your x-axis or to divide your the set of values in the 4 parts is called as a quartile. Getting? So as the name implies, quartile divide the data into 4 equal parts. Therefore, the first quartile Q1 is that 25th percentile. The second quartile is that 50 percentile. Then the third quartile is of the 75 percentile. To find out the Q2, means second quartile, determine the median of the data set. If you find the median value, then you will get the second quartile value of the Q2, second quartile. To find out the Q1, determine the median of the lower half. If you find out the median of the lower half, you will get the Q1 value of the Q1. And if you find the median of the upper half of the data set, you will get the Q3 quartile. You will get the Q3. Getting? So quartile is nothing but whatever set of values you are having, you divide that set of values into 4 parts. That is called as a quartile. And this quartile, you can that divide into 4 parts